then perhaps he'd have something great to boast in, as in, I followed the law. Right? I have done the law since I was a little boy, every commandment. That's not where Jesus goes. Jesus says, not my will, Father, but yours. He did the will of the Father in heaven, obedient unto the point of death, that the great love of God might be in our lives, instead of the tyranny of our own sin. Matthew 5:17. Christ did not merely follow the law, he fulfilled it. For I have not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. He steps beyond the scope of the law to bring souls into a relationship with God, not simply cleanse them. We want him to come into our lives. We want him to change our garments. Once again, our clothes. We want them to be white again. But it seems like every single time we do, we walk out of the tailor shop and a car comes by, puddle splashes all over our new robes. Spots and color. Nothing pure. Luke 11:24-26. I think perhaps that's a better representation Christ gives. When an impure spirit comes out of a person, it goes through arid places seeking rest and does not find it. Then it says, I will return to the house I left. When it arrives, it finds the house swept clean and put into order. Then it goes and takes 7 other spirits, more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the final condition of that person is worse than the first. Final condition is worse. I fight evil, and it comes back with 7 other demons. I dwell on my demons too long, and they become my heart, my house, under the control of another. How do we fight it? Or is that our job? Jesus asked the Pharisee, which is a harder thing, to say your sins are forgiven, or get up and walk? What is it that we need? From the perspective of the man lying on his back, from the perspective of all us sinners, paralyzed by fear and guilt, is it simply a purging from the evil of our own bodies, or are we asking for a complete restoration into the identity of the purpose of the will of the Father into his will? We are looking for something more now, something greater. In order to show that the Son has the power to forgive sins, power over evil, he heals us. He tells us, yes, go and sin no more. But he forgives us and tells us, now go do God's will. Go, get up and walk. You will be saved. Go and sin no more. But now, take up this burden. For my burden is light. Take up this cross, and you will enter heaven. Because we are not looking just toward heaven, we're looking toward a relationship with God. Better is one day with the Lord. Better is one day in his house. Better is one day in his courts than 1,000. So even when we're arrogant enough to say we follow the law, Christ will call us, like the rich young ruler, to sell all our possessions and give it to the poor. The law should not be our idol, because it's not the whole of God's will. The first commandment is to worship God only, because obedient servant and true worship are the only ways to be protected from sin, yes, but to fulfill our identity as children of God. To worship our God only, to do his will. Because when we put the law into practice, we still stumble because we can't do it on our own. But when we surrender to God, ask him to come into our lives, when we stop worrying about our own evil and say, God, I want to be healed, but I more importantly want to do your will so that thy will can be done on earth as it is in heaven. Then he says, son, go do my will. I will heal you. I have already healed you. For where in the law does it say to die for the sins of another? Yet Christ took it upon himself to carry that burden out of obedience to his Father's will. We are responsible for the problem of evil, and yet he reconciled us to the Father while we were still sinners. Christ is the solution. And yet, how did he do it? He did it by being murdered. Perhaps the greatest abomination of all. It's not just the created we're putting on the cross now. We're putting the Creator, the one who made all things. The entire earth shakes with the dysfunction, the paradox of killing God. It doesn't fit with reality. Just like evil doesn't fit with God's reality. It's not possible. Yet Christ did it because he wants to rid us of our evil. The paradox of evil in our life removed by Christ's saving power. All of us are the murderers of God. Yet even there, where the thief on the cross looked at Jesus and said, "You have done nothing wrong. We deserve that. But Father, remember me." And he says, "Yes, I say unto you, you will be with me in paradise." Not because of any works on our own, because yes, the thief deserved to die, and he received his consequence on this earth. But more importantly, Christ received his consequences for the world to come. For we are not better than any other. In this church, none of us are any better than any man walking down the street, or any of the ones doing the evil out in the world that we criticize. For who is to judge? Only God. It's hard to say, "I am the thorn in his crown. I am the sweat from his brow, the nail in his wrist, Judas's kiss." Yet he loves us anyway. "See now, I am the man who yelled out from the crowd for your blood to be spilled on this unholy ground. Yes, then I turned away with a smile on my face. With this sin in my heart, I tried to bear his grace. Then alone in the night, I still called out for you, so ashamed of my life, my life, my life. My life of evil, my life of sin. And if God says, who condemns you? None. Evil is not so great a problem that Christ can't deal with it. It's too great for us. But Christ is not fazed. I'd like to give a quote by the Scottish theologian James Stewart, and please listen to the whole thing. "The very triumphs of Christ's foes he used for their defeat. He compelled their dark achievements to subserve his end, not theirs. They nailed him to a tree, not knowing that by that very act they were bringing the world to his feet. They gave him a cross, not guessing he would make it a throne. They flung him outside the gates to die, not knowing that in their very moment they were lifting up all the gates of the universe to let the King of Glory come in. They thought to root out his doctrines, not understanding that they were implanting imperishably in the hearts of men the very name they intended to destroy. They thought they had defeated God with his back to the wall, pinned, helpless, defeated. They did not know it was God himself who had tracked them down. He did not conquer in spite of the dark mystery of evil. He conquered through it. Through it. Through our evil, through our pain, God's love has been made known. And if Jesus did it, then he can help me to do a little bit of that in my own life. That one day I may be with him forever. To sing and dance and praise his name with others. To worship him, to see his true nature. To be beyond just this evil flesh. Everything good and true and holy, to finally do justice and love mercy and walk humbly before my God. I'm going to steal from Romans again, Pastor, I'm sorry. Romans 8:38-39, I don't know if you finished with this last time. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor